Hey everyone, Jay here with Word of Advice TV, and in this video I'll be doing an experiment on various objects to see how they react when they're put inside of a vacuum chamber. And then with the help of a vacuum pump, we're going to decrease the pressure in here and seeing what happens to those objects. And before we begin, I would like to just briefly, in a simple way, explain how this works so we have a better idea of what's going on as we're watching this. To begin with, picture a car tire. You know how there's a Schrader valve, that little core? If you press on it, the air just comes rushing out? That's because the pressure inside of that tire is higher than the pressure outside of that tire, just the atmospheric air pressure. So with the tire, the air went from high pressure to low pressure, and that's the way it always works. Pressure goes from high to low. Think of a balloon. If you blow up a balloon and you let it go, the high pressure inside of there, the air that's pressurized, is going to rush out of there. So this vacuum pump, it works in a very similar fashion. This pump, once you turn it on, it creates a negative pressure inside of there, which is much lower than the atmospheric pressure, which is inside of this chamber, because to begin with, this is just normal air pressure. And because there's such a big difference created in the pressures between here and here, when this is connected with the hose, the pressure that's in here, the air molecules inside of this chamber, they're going to try to rush into this pump to equalize or stabilize that pressure. And that's how we create a vacuum inside of here. And in the HVAC world, we measure a vacuum using microns, and that's the reading that you're going to be seeing on this pump. So as the pump is running, the little readout that we're going to see, the numbers, that's going to be in microns. And to put it in perspective, 1 psi is equal to 51,700 microns. So it's a little tiny measurement. But anyway, that was my simple explanation of how this works. If you have any corrections to what I said, or if you can explain it better than I did, I invite you to please do so in the comments below. Anyway, let the experiments begin. We're gonna go ahead and kick this off with a bag of Doritos. And we all know that bags of chips, they're usually more air than chips. So let's see what will happen if we put this into the vacuum chamber. Start the pump and see what happens. Wow, that didn't take long at all. And here is our bag of chips. It just neatly popped right open up on top. And what happened is, all the air inside of the bag, as the pressure in here started to drop, the air inside of this bag started to expand until it no longer could contain it and the bag just popped. And that happened so fast that I kind of want to do it again. Let's do it one more time with a different bag of chips. I don't know why, but when I took this bag out, it actually felt kind of warm up on top right here. We also have a bag of beef jerky here, except with this one, I don't want to blow the bag up. What I'm going to do is poke some holes in it instead, and we're going to try to balloon it up like the bag of chips, and then we're going to take the hose off and let the atmospheric pressure rush in there, and that should crush the bag. So let's see if I can get that to work. Okay, I poked some holes in it. It smells really good. And let this begin. Nice, well that worked out very well. The bag did get crushed. So that was pretty much the opposite effect of the bag of chips. So here we had it under low pressure, and then once we introduced the higher pressure, the atmospheric pressure, it actually crushed the bag inside. So that's kind of cool. By the way, in case you're wondering, this does taste really good. And next up we have an avocado, a kiwi, and a tomato. And I'm going to try these just to see what happens to fruits and vegetables when they get subjected to a vacuum. My guess is nothing much, but let's see. Absolutely nothing happened to the avocado. But that doesn't change the fact that avocados are the best. Nothing interesting happened with the kiwi. As for the tomato, something did happen, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it. It got a lot more squishy. So it was pretty firm when I put it in, but now it's like squishy all over the place. Someone asked me to put Play-Doh inside of the vacuum chamber as well, so I'll do that just for them and see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this up into a ball and we'll put it in there. Okay, so the Play-Doh did do something. It didn't change shapes, but we saw little white spots all over the Play-Doh. And I think that was just from the air and moisture escaping from inside of the Play-Doh. And by the way, it's actually really cold too. That's interesting. So the temperature inside of the chamber, as the pressure drops, the temperature inside of there drops as well. So with the Play-Doh, it's really apparent. I could feel that it got colder. Next up, we have marshmallows. That was awesome. So they expanded to twice their size, and then when I subjected them back to the atmospheric pressure, which is much higher, they just got crushed. Next up, we have an all-purpose sponge, and I can't wait to see if the same thing will happen to this thing as with the marshmallows. And now we know that absolutely nothing happens to the sponge. It does kind of bounce up when I unplug the hose, that's about it. And the reason for that, the sponge is way too porous. It has a lot of holes in it and it's fluffy, but none of those holes are sealed up inside of it. Next, we're gonna see what will happen to water. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this water into this bowl. And then we'll put the bowl inside the chamber and turn on the vacuum. This is definitely one of my favorites. That's pretty epic how the water boils inside of a vacuum chamber. And what's actually happening is, it's not getting hotter. The water is cold actually. It's not getting hotter. What happens is all the air molecules inside of the water, they start to escape to go into the lower pressure. And that's what makes it boil. So now we know that the vacuum can boil water, but can it make popcorn? Let's find out. Okay, so we succeeded in popping the bag and getting popcorn kernels all over the place, but now we know that a vacuum cannot pop popcorn. And that's because the temperature in here is actually dropping instead of heating up, and popcorn needs heat to pop. So if anything, it's getting colder, not hotter, so no matter how long you vacuum it, it's never gonna make you popcorn. And even though we probably know what's gonna happen to the bubble wrap, we absolutely have to try it. I'm gonna put my microphone right on top so we can hear the popping better. In my previous video, somebody was asking what would happen to an egg, so let's find out. And now we know that absolutely nothing will happen to eggs. And that's because there's no air trapped inside of there, so nothing expands. And out of personal curiosity, I was always wondering what would happen if you don't take this cap off. Let's find out. Wow, that pop was a lot more violent than I expected. I gotta go find that cap. I wonder where it went. Don't worry guys, I did find the cap. This did give me another idea though. I kind of wonder what will happen if I let this hose latch onto my arm. Would it leave a big mark or a small mark? I kind of want to find out now. Well, that wasn't too bad. It almost felt like those suction cups that you put on your back. Just a little bruising, but nothing too exciting. Okay, back to the experiments. Now that we know that the water can boil, it's only natural to try to boil the eggs, right? We already have them here. Why not? So I'll put the eggs in there, and I'm going to run the pump for probably about 5 minutes and just let it boil and see if we get us a hard-boiled egg. So what do you think? Did the eggs boil in the cold water or not? Only one way to find out, right? But the answer is obvious, of course. Boiling water will, of course, boil an egg. So yeah, we got us a hard-boiled egg after boiling for 5 minutes in a vacuum. Okay, let's try the other egg now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. That one is not hard-boiled. I'm kidding, guys, don't worry, I'm just kidding. One egg was boiled, one was raw. So of course the one that was boiled remained boiled. I just wanted to see if there's gonna be a difference between the two when we put them into a vacuum. But there was no difference. Both of them just did absolutely nothing. Next up, we have bubble solution. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it into a bowl and put it into a vacuum. And this one should be fun because once the solution starts to boil, it'll start to bubble. But after I take the hose off, all those bubbles should immediately collapse. So let's see if that's gonna happen. That was pretty cool. I stopped it because I didn't want it to get into the pump, the bubble solution. But yeah, as you saw, it bubbled up, and then once I turned the pump off and took the hose off, it just collapsed. So, behind the scenes of this video, I caught some trespassers in the basement. We got a cockroach, pretty decent sized cockroach. We have another small cockroach. Where is it? Oh, a spider. There's the spider. If I could focus on him. There's the spider. And there's the other small cockroach. So, for trespassing, these three are also going to experience the vacuum and let us know what it's like. Guys, I'm so sorry, you totally missed it. So the camera, for some reason, stopped filming right when I turned the pump on. So what happened is the cockroaches, they just started running around like crazy and then they flipped over on their back. And now they look like they're dead, but I still need to verify that. Are they really dead or are they just playing dead? Look at that, his legs started twitching. For a while, he's been just laying there doing nothing. So it looks like he's coming back to life after I turned the vacuum off. There's the small cockroach. And I really wanted you to see that, but man, the darn camera wasn't filming. The spider, it got sucked right into that little hole down there by the small cockroach. Since it was a skinny spider, right when I turned the vacuum on, it just got sucked right in. So it's probably inside the oil in the vacuum pump, which is kind of gross. I totally didn't see that coming. Right when I turned the pump on, just got sucked right in. Okay, so I'm gonna release the vacuum and see if the cockroaches come back to life. I think they need some motivation. So I gave it another 2 minutes and it actually looks like the cockroaches are out for good. It would have been nice to see how the spider would have reacted, but unfortunately he got sucked in immediately. I ran out of la cucarachas in the basement, so I'm out here outside looking for some more volunteers, but of course when you're looking for them, they never come out, right? I'm just filming this to show you that I made an effort. I tried to find some more, but they're nowhere to be found. But look at these big guys. Oh, look at them. But don't even think about it. No, I am not going to use George or Fred for any of my experiments. These are good toads. They eat mosquitoes, spiders, and all kinds of other nasties. And there's actually 2 other ones over here. I've never seen them before, so they don't have names. This one's kind of small, actually. What do you think, Steve? Bobby? Then I just realized there's actually one more right over there. I'm gonna run out of names at this rate. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to our experiments, shall we? Next up, we have a water bottle, and what I'm gonna do is just poke a bunch of holes in it. I already started up on top here. Poke a bunch of holes and fill this up with shaving cream, put it in the vacuum, and see what happens. Wow, that expanded a lot faster than I thought it would. That's crazy. I'll be back after I clean all of that up. Okay, I'm back. So now we know that shaving cream has a bunch of air bubbles in it, so it expands like crazy when you put it under a vacuum. And I saved the best one for last, and I saved it for last for a reason, and that is because it's a monster, quite literally. So by now we've learned that anything that has air bubbles in it will expand. But what if it's a carbonated beverage with pressurized air inside of it? What will happen if we put that in a vacuum? Let's find out. What a monster. Not blowing up. Now we know that Monster makes some quality cans. That being said though, the can is like really stiff and it's blown up on top. But it must be made out of some good metal, so it's not actually blowing the top off like I thought it would. Maybe I should try like a Coke bottle or something. And I'm back with some Red Bull. I heard that Red Bull is slightly weaker than Monster, so we're gonna confirm that. Let's see if the Red Bull blows up. Well, and it turns out that Red Bull is one tough drink as well. It's pretty blown up, but it didn't actually explode. So, nice can, Red Bull. Okay, I'm done with the energetic ones. Let's just try a Sprite. Okay, fine, one last one. We're gonna try a Diet Coke. And this time I'm also gonna turn the container over, upside down. Because if it really does explode, it'd be nice if it just all collected in there. With this one, I'm gonna try shaking it up a little bit, and hopefully that will help it do something interesting. Oh, wow. Finally. This is like my 4th Coke bottle. That was awesome. Dang. That was a lot more explosive than I thought it would be. I'm really happy that I actually flipped this thing upside down. Look at that. That is totally awesome. That little tab just kind of got busted right out by the air bubbles coming out from inside. So yeah, this was actually my 4th Diet Coke attempt. And the reason I kept trying is because the first one I tried actually fizzled out. There was air bubbles up on top. All the other ones did not do that. So with the second one, I tried shaking it up and putting it in there. That didn't work. Third one, I tried warming it up in warm water and putting it in there. Still nothing, just bubbles up on top. And finally, with the 4th one, I warmed it up with some hot water and then shook it up, put it in there, and you saw the result. And all the Diet Coke in there, there's absolutely no bubbles. No carbonation left. All of that was just blasted out of there. And those were all the experiments that I had for you. I hope you found this video interesting, and I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything you saw in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to mash that like button on the way out, and I'll see you next time. And if you're still here and not in the comment section below, let me teach you an egg trick that you may or may not know. So as I was filming this video, I wasn't sure, I lost track of which egg was boiled and which egg was raw. So the way to figure out which one is which, all you have to do is just spin it. So if I spin this one, see how it starts fast and then just slows down right away? Just kind of wobbles. The one that does that is going to be the raw egg. The one that is boiled, it spins really quickly and it does not slow down. See, look at that. So there, now you know how to tell which egg is which.